Dear students, welcome you all to the English class. We all know children are always dear to their parents. It is difficult to say if a father loves his child more than the mother does or vice versa. No doubt mothers are more vocal than fathers in their expressions of love, but in their hearts of hearts, fathers also love the child, but they don't make too much show of it. Today, let's understand a prose from your English textbook. The name of the prose is An Excellent Father, written by Jane Austen. This extract has been taken from Jane Austen's famous novel Pride and Prejudice. In this prose, the main characters are Mrs. and Mr. Bennet and their three daughters, Lizzie, Elizabeth, and Kitty, of marriageable age. Mrs. Bennet is a middle-aged woman. One morning, she informs her husband that Netherfield Park, a big house in their neighbor, has been taken over by a young man, Mr. Bingley, of large fortune. It means he is a very rich young man. Moreover, he is a bachelor. Mrs. Bennet thinks that he could be a very good match for one of her daughters. So she asks her husband to pay the young man a visit as early as possible. Mr. Bennet is a jolly fellow. He pretends that he sees no reason for this visit. He asks his wife to visit Mr. Bingley herself along with the girls. At this, Mrs. Bennet feels vexed or angry at her husband's irresponsible behavior. She stops talking of Mr. Bingley. Then Mr. Bennet sees his daughter Lizzie trimming her hat. He teases her by saying that Mr. Bingley would like it. Mrs. Bennet is all the time in a very angry mood, as she thinks that Mr. Bennet is not at all worried about his grown-up daughters. In the meantime, the other daughter, named Kitty, starts coughing. Students, you know, Mr. Bennet is a jolly fellow. He remarks that Kitty has no discretion in her cuffs. She times them ill. Thus Mr. Bennet keeps teasing his wife and daughters. Then, at last, he tells his wife that he has already visited Mr. Bingley in the morning. This was a great surprise for the ladies. Mrs. Bennet leaves the room saying, "Now, Kitty, you may cough as much as you choose. What an excellent father you have, girls," said Mrs. Bennet. Thus, students, this was a nice story of a loving father and is very serious about their marriage. Though he pretends to be disinterested in Mr. Bingley, yet he is the first to visit him. Hope you must have liked the story. An excellent father. Thank you.